Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Friday, June 12, 2020. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, delivered an address to the nation on Friday, June 12th. In the address, he outlined the statutory rules and orders number 25 of 2020 for the period Saturday 13th to Saturday 27th June.
From Saturday the 13th to Saturday the 27th June, the curfew will commence at 12 midnight and end at 5 a.m. daily. Our churches are critically important to our quality of life and spiritual well-being. The relaxation of the curfew hours commencing at midnight will also facilitate nightly religious services with the same protocols already agreed for daytime services. For the purpose of exercise, beaches will now be open from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Furthermore, the suspension of the retail liquor license has been removed and bars can be opened from Saturday.
As explained by Prime Minister Harris, restaurants can be opened for in-dining while complying with physical distancing measures.
The table allocations should be between 2 and 4 persons, and spacing between tables should allow a minimum of 6 feet between patrons. Also, all restaurants must establish the appropriate sanitization program for employees and patrons. Patrons are required to wear masks on arrival, except when eating and drinking.
Prime Minister Harris said the new regulations continue the relaxation of restrictions and cautiously open up the federation so citizens and residents can return to some semblance of normalcy with regard to their economic and social lives. The Caribbean Public Health Agency CARPHA is indicating that the risk of additional cases of COVID-19 occurring in the Caribbean remains very high. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws says it follows that there is the high risk of the virus being reintroduced in St. Kitts and Nevis when the Federation's borders are reopened.
We continue to coordinate, plan, and monitor our COVID-19 response. Our risk communication continues, and so we continue to engage the public and share with you the latest information regarding COVID-19. And this forum is one such means of engagement. Active surveillance continues, whereby we are continuously monitoring for patients who would be accessing or seeking care for COVID-like symptoms. Our response teams continue to be trained. In terms of our laboratory capacity, it is with pleasure that I share that the Ministry of Health, and in particular the JNF General Hospital Laboratory, just received a molecular machine whereby we can offer the molecular test at our public institution. We continue infection and prevention and control in terms of capacity building for our response teams, and we continue maintaining the delivery of essential health services during the pandemic. And then again, we cannot overemphasize the importance of our continuing to adhere to the physical and social distancing measures.
As noted by Dr. Laws, the Ministry of Health continues to prepare for the second wave of COVID-19 cases.
At present, we are reviewing our response so far. In other words, we are reviewing what we would have done between January to present. We are noting our successes, we are noting the gaps, and we are plugging the gaps. And in so doing, we are strengthening our health services. We continue training our staff, and so capacity building is a priority as we continue our preparedness and response for COVID-19.
The ministry's response, according to Dr. Laws, is guided by the World Health Organization, the Pan American Health Organization, and the Caribbean Public Health Agency. The United States Southern Command, the U.S. Southcom, has donated to St. Kitts and Nevis a supply of personal protective equipment, which will significantly assist authorities to manage the second wave of COVID-19 should it come to the Twin Island Federation. At the Monday, June 10th National COVID-19 EOC briefing, Chair of the National COVID-19 Task Force, Abdias Samuel, expressed appreciation for the gift.
CDMO would have, through the Regional Security System, RSS, would have delivered a number of PPEs as a sponsorship from the Southcom Humanitarian Assistance Project, assistance from Southcom. There were 62 hazmat suits, hand sanitizers, surgical masks, face shields, gloves, and shoe covers. These are some of the items, as outlined, that were donated to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I want to thank the team from NEMO, led by the Deputy National Disaster Coordinator, Ms. Clarissa Langley-Stevens, and supported by Ms. Vesta Southwell and other members of NEMO. And also I want to thank the media for covering this activity. I also wish to thank the Comptroller of Customs, Mr. Kennedy De Silva, the Chief Immigration Officer, Ms. Moslin Hughes, and Mr. Don James, the CEO of SCASPA, for facilitating this exercise.
Health experts have warned that new cases of the novel coronavirus are likely when local borders reopen, particularly to international travelers. Authorities continue to train and stand ready to execute medical protocols to identify and isolate any persons carrying the virus, as well as to trace all contacts and quarantine those identified. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in St. Kitts and Nevis has been limited to 15 with 0 deaths. Giselle Matthews, president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce, is appealing to local businesses to comply with the COVID-19 regulations outlined by the Ministry of Health. The call comes as the Ministry of Tourism proposes the phased reopening of local restaurants, bars, and snackets.
A lot of the basic health protocols that you can put in place are very simple and easy. Some of it we can do and we can stick to it. And how you handle your customer is key. You are in charge of your customer. Your customer is not in charge of you. When they come to your establishment, you dictate what and how they do it. Okay? And if they don't comply, then you might have to ask them to leave. It's simple. If you don't have on a mask, you can't come in. If you're not sanitizing, you can't come in. You're in control. They are not in control of you. So just remember that. Who really sets the standards and the guidelines? It's the business owner. Okay? And ultimately, you will be responsible for any sort of breach on those protocols.
Matthews also pledges the support of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce to the Ministry of Health and the National Emergency Operations Center, which have been tasked with managing the response to COVID-19 in St. Kitts and Nevis.
We are aware of this suffering that is taking place and the hurt many people are having, small businesses, these small bars especially, even large restaurants and hotels, as you speak to it, they still have to maintain their properties and they still have to have security and regular maintenance, so still have some people on payroll, etc. So they're still bearing costs through this time also. But I think what we're here to do is trying to reopen properly and reopen with responsibility. And in terms of reopening and testing ourselves, using ourselves almost like as a guinea pig in a way. That we do have a local economy, and I think we survived many moons before without tourism. I don't think we can survive today for a very long time without it. Certainly, we rely on it. Many of our businesses have emerged because of tourism. And so let us do this responsibly, and everyone take the necessary action for your business.
Giselle Matthews, president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Still to come, Caribbean Ministers of Agriculture explore funding options to mitigate effects of COVID-19. The details after this break.
Hi everyone, my name is Naila Daniel and I have a very important message for you. Be safe, protect yourself and others, and practice social distancing.
Stay updated by following the Health Promotion Unit on Facebook and Instagram or contact us at 469-8010.
Welcome back. The ministers and the secretaries of agriculture of 14 Caribbean countries learned about funding opportunities they will be able to access to implement recovery actions in the agriculture and rural sectors to address the impact of COVID-19. During a video conference, representatives of financial institutions, development organizations, and donors informed the ministers of funding alternatives and resources available to strengthen agriculture, with special emphasis on food security, resilience, economic recovery, technological innovation, sustainable use of resources, and the preservation of biodiversity, among other areas. The meeting was organized by the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture, IICA, and the Secretariat of CARICOM as part of their efforts to strengthen agriculture in the region. The Caribbean Agricultural Authorities also acknowledged the fact that having multiple funding alternatives is crucial to meet the challenges facing the region's agriculture, such as fostering trade, driving regional integration, expanding market access, improving the transportation of products, boosting the resilience of production systems to climate change, investing in innovation and technology transfer, building capacities, implementing sanitary measures, and linking youth to farming activities. IICA in turn reiterated its commitment to assisting CARICOM countries in implementing the Food Security Plan, which seeks to mitigate the consequences of COVID-19 in the region and increase agricultural production in the region by 2% over the next 5 years. Nevis Electricity Company Limited, NEVLEC, is advising its customers of a scheduled power outage for Tuesday, June 16th. This is to facilitate the upgrade of high-voltage poles on the main Ramsbury Road and to extend high-voltage lines and complete remedial work in close proximity to Shiloh Baptist Church. Customers in Ramsbury, in the area of Percy's Jewelry Store and Shiloh Baptist Church, will be affected by the power outage scheduled for 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Meantime, Nevis Electricity Company Limited, NEVLEC, is also advising its customers of a scheduled power outage for Thursday, June 18th. This is to facilitate the relocation and upgrade of high-voltage poles along the Island Main Road in the Beach Road and Pond Hill areas. Customers on the Gingerland feeder from Morning Star to Whitehall via Zion and Brickhill will be affected by the power outage scheduled for 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. NEVLEC apologizes for any inconvenience caused due to these interruptions. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing.